everybody. Welcome to the channel Crossing the Spiritual Streams. My name's Tandra, and we're doing our weekly Tarot Pick-a-Pile reading. And today's topic is, what kind of god or goddess would you be if you were one? It sounded like a fun topic to me, and I thought it might be kind of fun to do with all the seriousness and everything that's going around. It's just nice to do something that could be kind of interesting. This will just let you know, like, if you were a god or a goddess. I'm going to use the word god to represent both male and female gods. But if you were a god, what kind would you be? Would you be one that liked humans a lot, or would you stay, up, in the realm of the gods all the time? Or what kinds of interests would you have? What would you be the god of? Would it be love or machinery, or would you be the head god, or would you be, an earth goddess, or, all those kinds of things. So I think it's going to be kind of fun to do. We do have 3 piles for you to choose from here today. We just picked some cards that represented gods out of the, it's a tarot deck, and it's called the Tarot of the Divine. I actually borrowed it from my daughter, so it's a really cool tarot deck, and so we decided to use those as symbols. That's not going to mean anything as far as you being this particular god or goddess. It's just something for you to focus on, to choose which pile. Okay, so the first one is the Sun card. The second one is the Two of Wands, and the third one is the Temperance card. Okay, so you decide which pile has your reading in it. You can watch 1, 2, or 3 piles, whatever interests you. If it's fun for you to watch all 3, you can do that. We are not going to be doing our charms or oracle spheres for this reading, because I don't think it really lends itself to that. But we look forward to the reading. There will be timestamps in the description, and we'll see you at your reading. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading of what kind of god or goddess would you be if you were one. I'm going to use the term god from here on out to mean both male and female gods and goddesses, because it won't really matter, but it's easier for me to just say one word. You guys are the ones that chose the Sun card here with the Egyptian god, and we will, I think we'll just set that right over here off to the side, so it can be seen in the video. Okay. All right. So let's see what we got to say today. I'm really interested in how this reading will go. All right. Let's see what we've got here. We've got the 5 of Swords. We've got the Star card. We got the Moon card. We got the 10 of Wands. We got the Page of Wands. We got the Hierophant. We got the 5 of Swords. Interesting, because we had the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords over there too. So we had the 5 of Swords twice. That's interesting. All right. And then we got the Sun card. That's interesting, since you chose the Sun card originally. And we got the Knave of Swords. Okay. Then we have the 34 Fish and the 18 Dog. I wanted to pick these cards out too, to maybe give some traits that you might have and so forth. Okay, one of the things I came up with in the reading that kind of came through is you would be the god in charge of religion. Like, I know there isn't really one, or at least, not one I can think of off the top of my head, but that's his specific thing he's in charge of, or she's in charge of. But what I mean by that is you would want your followers to worship you, like, greatly, like follow specific rituals and build temples and, you know, think of you as an authoritarian figure because you're very much an authoritarian figure, that kind of thing. But also, you would be in charge of, like, making sure that humans have religion. Like, you probably wouldn't care what religion they had as long as you were their chief god. Like, um, in other words, you would probably be the god that goes by many different names. Like, depending on where in the world you would be, you know, Zeus in this corner, and you'd be, you know, Christian god maybe over here in this corner, and you'd be, you know, whatever, because you're like the chief god, okay? And you're the one you really like to be worshipped. You like people to think of you, but it's interesting though, because you like embody like religion in general, like following a religion or having a religion. So you're like the chief authoritarian guide, I guess. You're the one that passes out the rules. You're the one that tells people what you know they are in charge of and all that. Now, as long as you have loyal followers, you're very kind, benevolent type of god, though. Um, you require hard work from your subjects, but you, or you know, your followers, but you are very loyal to them. You expect loyalty back, but you're also very benevolent. You will shower them with riches and good rewards if you can. You're very kind. You're one that can be trusted. That kind of thing. You're also kind of got a lot of fiery passion. You uh, like to invoke change for the fun of it. Like you would get kind of bored or think things are kind of bored, so you'd shake things up. Uh, you would possibly be okay with conflict. If I'm not sure you would do it just for fun, like some gods have been known to do, you know, stir up a little trouble here and there, you know, for fun. But I think you would appreciate a good warrior. You would appreciate people being able to defend themselves, that kind of deal, that kind of thing. But you also really like intellectual people. Like, you like people that can invent things, solve problems, are youthful in nature. You like change. You like things to progress. You like things to move along. You have pages and knaves and fives in your reading, which really show that you like that youthful kind of progress. You like things to change. You like things to move along that way. So you like progress. Okay, so even though, so it's kind of a dual kind of thing, because it's like you would like people to follow certain rules, be hard workers, you know, follow certain rituals, do all these things, but then you also like the idea of people moving along, progressing, having new ideas, new things coming along, and that kind of thing. That's really where your heart is. You like to shine light on things. You like to be the, you know, basically you're the sun god, which is really interesting. I guess since you picked the card, I didn't think it would have anything to do with the reading, but in this case it does, because you do have the sun card here. You're basically in charge of knowledge and all new light and new innovations and other things like that that come out in the world. You really appreciate that. It's kind of a Gemini energy almost involved with it, in that you like new ideas and you like those kinds of things. Aquarian energy as well. You know, new technology, new stuff. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. So you, it's interesting how you kind of have that dual nature going on there. I don't really see you liking like a lot of conflict though. Like I see you as more of the peaceful sort of god, which is a little different than most of them are depicted in history. Especially, usually the one in charge is usually not super peaceful. But I kind of see you as you're full of fiery passions and you have a lot of passion, so you could maybe stir up some fights amongst the other gods and things. But I get the feeling that for humans, you wouldn't want them to fight if they could help it. If they could find ways around it, I think you would be all okay with that. But you do have a lot of fiery passion. You're very passionate about a lot of things. You're easy to anger if somebody, especially if somebody messes with the humans. I get the feeling that if other gods try to mess with the humans, you would be one that would kind of go, hey, nope, nope, can't be doing that. You know, you wouldn't like that idea too much. So I kind of get that idea too, that you'd be kind of one of those kind of gods. So that's really intriguing. Sounds kind of fun. I get the feeling you would be high up on your perch, but you would still be very involved with humans because you care about them a lot. You like to see their progress. I think you would help them if things weren't going so well. I think you would let them go on their own mostly and try to let them have their trials and errors and learn on their own. I think you would appreciate that. But if they needed a little bit of a helping hand, you'd be willing to, you know, kind of nudge them along a little bit if you could, or you know, give them something like I get the idea, like, okay, with the fish and the dog, this is very interesting. Fish is a sign of abundance, and of course, if you can fish, you can. If you can fish, you can, you know, eat and those kind of things. So you almost get the idea, okay, you provide, you know, sustenance for them when they need it, or, you know, help them out with that. And then dogs are very much helpers to humans and, you know, command great loyalty. So it's almost like, you know, you would be the one to send the dogs down to make sure that there's somebody taking care of humans and kind of helping us out and that kind of thing. So that is the reading today of what kind of god or goddess you would be. And I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. I thought it was kind of fun to do, and it was kind of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please leave us comments in the comments section. See if this kind of reading is one that you would like to see every once in a while. Something that's, you know, a little different than just the regular predictory readings or message readings. See if what you guys thought about that. I'd appreciate that. Also, if you get a chance to hit the thumbs up and share the channel with your friends and family, we'd really like that as well. And we have a lot of videos you can check out that are the regular traditional pick-a-pile tarot readings, that are messages from Spirit and messages from the angels, and their monthly and yearly predictory readings. And there's ones, you know, from your pets and animals, and ones on future, you know, or on your soulmates, and just all kinds of different ones out there that you might want to check out. So we would appreciate that as well. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading on what kind of god or goddess would you be if you were one. I am going to use the term God throughout the rest of the reading to mean both male and female gods, because it's just easier for me to talk about it that way. You know, be gender neutral that way. This just is going to be a fun reading. This is meant to be for fun, a little less serious than some of the messages we sometimes need to get from Spirit, or you know, a little less intense than the predictory readings and things like that. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I had a lot of fun doing the first one so far, so we'll see what this does. Okay, all right, let's see what kind of cards we got going here. We got the Seven of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Death card. Interesting. The Seven of Swords. The Knight of Cups. The Three of Wands. The Nine of Swords. The Six of Pentacles. The Seven of Cups again. The number 25 ring, and the number 14 fox. Okay, interesting. I see a couple of different personality traits coming through here. Specifically, Uh, um, it's interesting that you chose the Two of Wands, and it shows the two-headed god like Janus, because uh, he normally would represent like endings and beginnings, or doorways, where you're leaving and entering at the same time and so forth. But also just being dual-headed like he is, you get the idea is there's a couple of different opposite types of personalities, or a couple of different things you'd be in charge of, and that kind of thing. And I get the idea that you'd be in charge of a couple of things. One is you would be the god of hopes and dreams. Okay? Wishes and hopes and dreams and manifestations and things like that. The other thing, though, is you would also be the god of tricksters, thieves, manipulators, cunning people. Okay? Like I said, tricksters and thieves. So not necessarily bad people, although some might be. But you would be the god in charge of those people as well. As well as dreams and hopes and wishes. And actually the two might kind of go together, so I guess maybe that makes sense that you would be in charge of both. But yeah, that's the energy I'm getting, is those are the two main things you would be in charge of, is people's hopes, dreams, and wishes and manifestations. And then also you would be like the god in charge of tricksters, thieves, plunderers, cunning people. Also, what do you call them? All of a sudden the names escaped me, but people that, con artists, people like that. So your relationship with humans would be a pretty strong one then, because you would be ones to help them reach their dreams and what they want to have in dreams. And like I said, I think the two really go together, because in some ways, obviously people dream, dreams and want to reach certain heights and so forth, and you would help them get there. But there's also the tricksters and the thieves and the people like that are also trying to achieve dreams a lot of times, or reach, they're the ones who want to have certain ambitions, or want to reach certain things, or, do that kind of thing. You're also the patron of people that have a lot of cunningness, can think really well, can get out of bad situations, those kinds of energies, the fox kind of energies. You notice how even this Five of Wands up here is depicted by foxes, getting ahead. So you've got that energy going for you, where foxes, can denote people that are resourceful, and they have duplicity involved in them as well, which is interesting since you picked the two-headed god. Once again, you kind of go, both different ways. So what I can see as a god that you would value most would be people that want to achieve their dreams and are willing to go after them. And you think it's a good idea to be able to do that, and be able to reach for, the sky, basically reach for the stars, reach for where travelers. I really kind of think you'd be in charge of travelers as well, because a lot of times you need to travel to get where you're going, to reach, your height. Yeah. It's interesting how I think of like Loki when I think of your reading here, in that, he was the trickster god. He was the one who went out and played tricks on people and that kind of thing. But he really wasn't, he didn't do it for bad reasons normally. Usually it was because he just wanted to get ahead, or, he was ambitious. He wanted to do things on his own. So I think you would be one of those gods who would appreciate people going out there and reaching for their dreams, going for it, going for their ambitions, having some smarts, being able to outmaneuver other people, that kind of thing. I think you would appreciate that. even in, when you said thieves involved in this, the Seven of Swords energy, usually the person who's stealing something is doing so to make sure that the other side has less of an advantage in an upcoming fight. So they're doing so for good reason, even though they're kind of sneaky and they're taking something that's not theirs and that kind of thing. So it's that energy of being able to do what you need to do to move forward, get ahead. You would appreciate that in humans, and you would help them along if you could do so. You would appreciate people that had cunningness, people who had ambition, and you would do what you could to help those people as well. I think you would help them along and do so. I don't think you would see humans as necessarily being pathetic or weak, but ones that did not hold up to your standards. I'm not sure you would give them much time of day. I don't think you'd pay attention to them much. I don't think you would do much with them because you feel like other gods can take care of them. Other gods can do stuff with them. You like the ones that are smart and intelligent and ambitious and cunning and have dreams to reach new heights and so forth. That's what you would appreciate in humans and what you would want to help with. And you would help them, especially, you would be the kind that would give them, I think of the word Ravenclaw in Harry Potter. You would be the type that would give them puzzles to solve that would help them solve a problem. You wouldn't give them the answer directly, but you would let them use their smarts and intelligence and all to help them get where they need to go. So they would almost be helping themselves, really. That would be your energy. That would be what you'd want to do, is help them, but not just, make sure that they could do it on their own, because you really value what people can do on their own and what their abilities are, especially their smarts and cunningness and so forth. Okay, so that's what kind of god you would be. It'd be kind of cool to be in charge of, like I said, you really would appreciate intelligence a lot, and so you really like people who can do that. You would also be in charge of games, things like chess and checkers, and you'd be the god involved with those things as well. So any kind of games that require any kind of skill, role-playing games, all that kind of stuff you would be in charge of. You'd be the one that helped influence those things and that kind of thing too. So not so much physical sports or physical games. They'd be more intellectual games and board games and other things like that. You'd also be in charge of gamers, people that do like Xbox and PlayStation and computer games and things like that. You'd be in charge of those things as well, because that's something else that you would appreciate. All right, so there's your reading for today. I hope you liked it. Please do check out our other videos on the channel. We don't do these kind of videos very much, but you can leave comments and let us know if you like these kind of more fun videos rather than the more serious pick-a-piles that are more traditional. We could maybe pick up a few of these every once in a while if you guys like them, if I can think of some other ideas. Also, do check out our other videos. We have lots of tarot readings on lots of topics. We have messages from the universe. We have messages from archangels. We have soulmate readings. We have pet readings. We have future children readings. Just all kinds of stuff, as well as our monthly and yearly prediction readings as well. So there's a lot out there for you to check out. If you could give this video a thumbs up and share the channel with your friends and family, we sure would appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you again in other videos. May the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading on what kind of god or goddess would you be if you were one. You guys are the ones that chose the Temperance card here with the Indian god on it. I am going to use the word God in place of God and goddess to mean both male and female gods, because it's just easier for me to refer to it that way than to try to specify one way or another, because it doesn't really matter on gender on this. All right, let's take a look here. These reads have been fun so far. And they are meant to be entertaining and fun, so I would love for you to tell me what you thought about them when the reading's over. Leave us comments. Let us know what you think of these kind of readings, because they're different than the normal pick-a-pile readings that we do most of the time. So it might be nice to do these every once in a while if you guys like it. All right, let's see what we've got here. We've got the Ten of Wands. I love that picture. All right, we've got Temperance. That's interesting. The Temperance card showed up. I did not think that the cards that you all picked from the tarot here would matter on the readings at all, but so far they have, so I'm wondering if it will on this one as well, since Temperance showed up. We'll see. That would be intriguing. Four of Cups, because I randomly picked the cards and then picked these to put on the piles. So they had no clue about any of them here. Okay, we have the World card, the Sun card, the Eight of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Hanged Man, the Seven of Swords, the 23 Mice, and the 17 Stork. Interesting. There's some of the same cards that showed up in the first reading, but I don't think you're the same kind of god as the card in the first reading. So, intriguing. So, give me just a second to kind of reflect on these, because I got a couple of things that came through. But I wanted to figure out how to put it in, okay. I kind of, the words that are, it's just that the words aren't coming very clear. The feelings are, but the words aren't. I get the feeling you're almost like an all-being kind of god, but you're not necessarily the god in charge of all gods. But you might be up there. Like I get the feeling that you're in charge of heaven and earth kind of things. And both giving and taking away. And, life-giving, in charge of birth and that kind of thing, but also in charge of, things being more difficult, things being harder, you having to work for what you get and that kind of thing. I guess that sort of makes sense with Temperance a little bit, in that Temperance is that balanced energy between good and evil. So that's really kind of the energy I get, is the balance between good and bad, or problems and abundance, or problems and gifts. That you're basically in charge of those things. Like, I guess the extremes of life, maybe. You'd be the god in charge of, either things being super, super sunny and happy and cheerful and wonderful, or things being more of the Seven of Swords, needing protection, fighting, so forth, kind of energy. The Ten of Wands, where you're full of a lot of burdens and things like that. That kind of thing. Or you're in charge of really hard work, like the Eight of Pentacles, or you would be in charge of, the Stork, giving, of children, but then also the hard work that children involved, or the problems that can be involved with them, like with mice. Mice often will represent, difficulties and things like that. So, you have the Emperor, which, he's very, earthy and full of growth and abundance, but then you have the Hanged Man, who's a little bit more calm, centered, needing to kind of, in this case, she's kind of needing to hide out from things. So it's that dual, happiness and sadness, light and dark. You would be the god in charge of the extremes of life, the very good and very bad kind of things. So, whenever, somebody had to deal with something really, really difficult, you could help them along so that, they could go forward. Or if somebody was dealing with something really, really happy, you would really rejoice with them, that kind of thing. So you're basically, you would be in charge of human life, basically, like our existence on Earth, like how we go through the earthly realm, with the ups and downs that life has for it. So you basically would be the God that you would deal with the humans more so than probably any other God in the readings so far, in that, because you would be dealing with all of our challenges of life, all of our things that cause stress, happy stress and bad stress, all sad stress or de-stress stress. Because stress can come from good things just as much as bad things, and that's basically what you'd be in charge of, is all of life's stresses, all of life's good and negative energies together, and those forces and how they work in our lives and what they bring to our lives. So you would be involved with our everyday life, like a lot. Like, you would make sure that, if something really, really bad, like a famine happened, you would make sure that, crops would grow, better, the following year, something to counteract it. Or if, things were going really, really, really well and the earth was, let's say, getting overpopulated, you might make sure that there's a famine, so that, that joyousness wouldn't totally last. You would balance things out. You would be the balancer. You'd be the one that kept things in balance and in check throughout humans' lives and so forth. So that would be what you would work on and be in charge of. I do get a strong feminine energy with this particular God. I had not received an energy one way or the other on the other two readings, but in this one, I do get more of a feminine energy. I do get more of a life-giving, life-taking away sort of energy involved. Although with the Emperor card as well, especially the particular one that is here with the tree and the giving of life, that has a very strong masculine energy to it. So it's a little bit of both, I guess. Is, like I said, it's being in charge of life in all of its forms and all of its different incarnations and different ways that it happens on Earth. In charge of the everyday, especially extreme stuff that happens. So wow, that sounds kind of exciting. That means you're in the thick of it. You understand the need for good and evil. You understand the need for light and dark. You understand the yin yang kind of energies. You get all that. You understand it. It makes sense to you. You know that we have to have both to make the world a better place to live in, or one that makes more sense to live in than if we just had one. You understand that balance is necessary, so that's what you would work on. All right, guys. Wow, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you resonated with what God you were. And please remember to give the video a thumbs up. Leave us comments. Let us know what you think about this reading and how it went for you and where it was going. Do check out our other videos on the channel. We have lots more tarot readings that are much more traditional in scope. They have important messages for you, or they're about your soulmate or future children, or their predictions on the month or the year, things like that. So we have a lot of those on the channel, and we do our daily messages from Spirit as well. So do check out our other videos, and we'll see you again. May the stars guide your path. Bye-bye.